All right, well, grab your Bibles and turn over to Genesis chapter 29. Genesis chapter 29. We're going to be talking about 6 key people out of the Old Testament that have shaped the world as we know it today. And that's Jacob, Leah, Rachel, Bilhah, Zilpah, and Laban. So those last 3, I'm sure, were just right there on the edge of your tongue, ready to say, right? Maybe not so much, but most of us recognize Jacob, Leah, and Rachel. Well, in 29, what's going on is where Jacob has fled, was kind of told by his mom and blessed by his dad to leave town so his brother wouldn't kill him because he had already lied to Isaac and stolen the blessing and stolen the birthright and things of that nature from Esau. And so Esau was mad, and essentially when his dad died, he was going to kill him. And so he leaves town and he goes to Haran, which is where his uncle lives, Laban. And so when he gets there, he meets Rachel. She's a shepherdess, so she works the sheep and that kind of a thing. And then upon meeting and staying for a little while with Laban, Laban asks him, he says, so what can I give you? What are your wages going to be to come and work for me? And so he makes the deal. He'll work for 7 years for Rachel, the youngest daughter. Well, they go through the 7 years. At the end of the 7 years, then it's time for Jacob to receive Rachel as his wife. So they have some form of a wedding party to a degree or what have you. And then when it comes time for the wedding night, Jacob goes to the tent, but Laban sends Leah instead of Rachel. And this is where I'm sure that Jacob wished that he had electricity because he had no light. Right? So he wakes up the next morning in the sunlight, right? Like our song we just sang, blessed sunlight, and he goes, wait a minute, you're not the woman I married. It's kind of like that country song, the guy talking about the waitress that he was going to marry, and then he wakes up the next morning and he married the wrong waitress, right? Well, here's Jacob in his own country song. He wakes up the next morning, and it's not Rachel, it's Leah, right? And so then he goes to Laban, and he's like, what's going on? Which really Jacob should have been kind of thinking something might happen because Jacob's a kind of a conniver and a schemer and a manipulator, right? Well, Laban's the same way. He's a conniver, he's a schemer, and he's a manipulator. But essentially they work it out so that he says, look, you take Leah as your wife, and then I'll give you Rachel as well. You work another 7 years. All is good, right? So Laban gets both of his girls married off, and he has somebody to work for him for essentially 14 years. So they go through that, and in the process, he also gives Zilpah and Bilhah Zilpah to Leah and Bilhah to Rachel as maidservants to help as being wives. So Jacob goes from the beginning of the week, if you will, being a single man working for his uncle. At the end of 2 weeks, now has 4 wives. That's a big change in life, right? That's a significant shift in your priorities, a significant shift in your the things that are important to you and your responsibilities. And we kind of see that come out, especially as Jacob progresses through and the things that he goes through. But what's interesting is out of this group, right, so Jacob, Leah, Rachel, and the handmaidens, Zilpah and Bilhah, that comes, out of those folks come the 12 tribes of Israel. And through them, we get the nation of Israel. And through them, we also receive the Messiah, Jesus. And we receive God's blessing to all mankind and all the families of the earth. And when you read it again, you go back and you look at it and you think, man, again, it's a lot like listening to a country song as you see all the things that go on in this family and how things happen and go together. And to me, the part of it I just want to bring out tonight that gives encouragement is that God can use these people who are willing, even though they're flawed, He can use these people to change the entire planet and the whole future trajectory of everything. So then that means He can use each and every one of us if we're willing, if we have faith, and if we're willing to be the ones that God can use. He can use us in spite of whatever our flaws are. And all of us have our flaws. All of us have our struggles, our difficulties. Ain't none of us the true golden boy, the golden child, none of that, right? All of us have our flaws and our struggles. But if you're willing and you have that faith, God can use you wherever you are, in whatever you are, whether you're living out a country song or not, he can use you to change the world. And so the encouragement tonight is to look at the people that God was able to use in the Old Testament and realize he can use you too and wants to, if you'll just let him. So allow your faith, your trust, your motivation to be enough in God to be willing hands, be instruments of righteousness in his hands, so that you can change the world around you and he can use you to continue to change the rest of the world. This evening, if you need the prayers of the congregation, now is your time to come. Together we stand, and as we